So I'm just going to make a quick video going over Squarespace, what I think is like the most important parts of Squarespace. So get started. I'm on their site. We're going to automatically be taken to the templates page, and I'm actually going to go into the art and design section, but you can search by what type of website you're going to make. You can search the templates that way, but I kind of like this Novo here. You can preview the templates pretty easily by clicking on preview template, and then you can kind of view demo site, which is actually pretty nice because then it's working exactly like it would in real life, basically. And you know, I can go with the work page here, and then it goes deeper into the work, which actually I really like this one for a portfolio website. And I'm going to kind of encourage you guys to make this your portfolio website, your legit one that you're going to have. So when you graduate, you'll have a site with your work on it. And you can always come in here and edit it and update it with your new work as you continue to make new work as an artist. So I think I'm going to go with this one. So I'm going to go back in my browser, go start with Novo, and then I'll log in with probably my email. So I'm just going to go ahead and save that password. I signed in with one of my email accounts. You might, if you have an email account that you don't care about as much, you might want to do that just because you're probably going to get some spam in your email. So you might just want to use one, you know, that you don't care about very much for this. Or if you really want this to be your portfolio website, you should take it pretty serious and use the email that you use the most. So we can actually give this a name. And this is just kind of walking you through how to edit pages and things like that. We can skip this. So we're in here, and let's just kind of go through this left-hand menu to some extent. So the pages are over here. This is our, you know, site as it came in the template. So if we go to pages, we'll just check this out. So these are the two pages on our site. There's no pages in here that are not linked, which means there's no pages floating around that aren't included in the nav, basically. So here's the navigation. If we want to add a page, we just go to the plus sign. We can do blank pages, and actually this is really interesting. Page layouts are kind of nice. So you can search through and see, oh, I can just, you know, find one that's already made. They even have like contact pages that you can search through. They have gallery pages that you can search through. They have team pages that you can search through. So maybe I want a team page. I'll go with that. And then I'll name it our team, or my team. Maybe I have people that work for me or something. So you can change the title pretty easily there. It should update in the navigation once you do that. We can change the order of pages pretty easily by clicking and dragging them around. So let's see. Another thing that you can do, you can add links to the navigation, which aren't pages. So if you had like an outside Etsy store that you wanted to link up in the main nav, you can do that here. So let's just say maybe I have an Etsy store that I want to you know, link up. I'm not saying I do, but I'm just going to give it the generic thing here. Let's see, where am I at? So I'll just put that in there, save that, and as you can see, that added that in. And I don't want that to be the first thing, but maybe the last thing on there. Okay, and then there's some social icons in here, which is good. And then if we needed to make another page that's not linked out, that's fine. We can make a blank page, and we'll name this error page. We'll come back to it, but we probably might want an error page in our website. Not linked to any of our navigation, but if somebody searches for your site online and they can't find the right link on your site, it'll go to the error page, and then you can redirect them to somewhere else on your site that they might be looking for. And I'll explain that more later. But so that's kind of how you use this panel here. We'll go into the design. So this is new, site styles. So we can go into the fonts. So we can switch our font pack, which is basically a font pair. Maybe I want a different font pair on my site. Maybe I want this one instead, which actually I do kind of like that. But they have some nice ones that you can choose from that are ready to go with a click of your mouse, which is kind of nice actually. Maybe I will stick with this one. You know, they have sans serifs, they have serif ones, and then they have mixed ones. So that's actually pretty nice to choose from. And colors are pretty straightforward. You can edit your palette. Let me move this over a little bit. So there's preset ones that you can choose from that, you might end up really liking the ones that you already can find here. But maybe you really do have like a strict set of colors, maybe from a logo. So you can bring it in from an image, which would probably be your color logo. You can upload that or drop it on here, and it'll automatically choose the colors from your logos. Or we can, actually custom edit these colors depending on, what you're wanting. So it's definitely, up to you to choose your colors. So you can make it custom too, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick with something that's already sort of pre-made. I think that's probably going to be maybe the easiest thing. They don't have very many to choose from, but maybe I'll just kind of go with this one here. So definitely edit your color schemes for sure. I'm going to go with that one. And customize your themes. You can change these as well, but I think that if you use these preset, it works really well. Let's go into animation. We could do a fade so that when we change our pages, it fades in instead of just, sometimes there's some clip, there's some slide, there's a scale, but like the fade seems to work pretty well. You can change the speed of your fade if you want. I'm just going to leave it at medium or whatever it was on there. Spacing, I don't think we'll need to mess around with that too much. Buttons might be something that you might want to look at. The style of this one is solid. You can change it to outline if you want. You can make them rounded or pill-shaped. I might make mine a little bit rounded. I'm not going to mess with the padding. You can always reset the style to the default later if you decide you don't like what you did there. And then we're just going to leave these two things alone. We don't need that. So we can close that. Save. So that's how you save. You can go back in time, I believe, there. But so let's see here. The browser icon. Let's see. Let me go back one more. We're still in design, right? Okay. So we were in site styles earlier, but if we go to browser icon, this is where we would add like a favicon. And they typically need to be a perfect square. So 32 pixels by 32 pixels is a good size to make for a browser icon. So let me show you how I would go about doing it. So if we do File, New, let's just set up a square, a perfect square document. We can leave it at 300 for now. Let's make it like 500 by 500 at 300 ppi, RGB color. Command 0, I don't know why. I think this is active. Okay, so we have this here. So if we do a file, place embedded, we can bring in our logo design. I already have one here. So that's my logo design. And then if I do a file, export, actually we can save this. So let's do a file, save as. I'll save the PSD in our Favicon folder. So if we go into Documents, New Folder, actually let's go into Graphic Design 2, Electronic Design 2, sorry, and then New Folder, Mary Ward Design Portfolio Site. That's a little long, but, and then we can name this, Favicon, or browser icon, whatever you want to do there. So we'll save that as a PSD file just to save the original document, and then we can do a file, export, export as, and we can make this a JPEG, or you might want a PNG if you want a transparent background. It just kind of depends. I think Maybe I'll make the width 32 inches by 32 inches. Because that's, or 32 pixels, I'm sorry. So, and then export that. And we'll put that in that same folder as Favicon JPEG. Save that. And then now I have my image that I want to use. And we'll go to that same folder if I can find it. Okay, it's not coming up in my... So we'll navigate to that in the documents. There we go. We'll upload that. See, and that'll change the square cube up here, hopefully in your browser, to be the correct something different anyway than the square. I don't know if that quite worked or not. Maybe it's something that wouldn't happen until we fix that, but we do have that updated. And then, let's see here. We're not going to mess too much with these, other than, you know, these things will just, we're going to maybe skip. Although you might want to bring this in, add a social sharing icon. This is for if you are on Facebook or something. So I would just put your logo in there, and I would make it a higher resolution one, maybe a little bit nicer. So file export, export as, and I'll export it at 500 by 500 this time for this social sharing icon anyway. Export that out into the correct folder. Maybe I'll name it 500 by 500. Just so I know which one's which when I go into Safari, and I can use the correct one for this. It needs to be a little bit bigger. It's good to update the social sharing, actually, and you can save that. Okay, we'll go back. And the rest of this we can ignore in the design section. Commerce is for if you want to start a, you know, e-commerce site for selling things. I think it's good to do this if you have a few things that you're going to sell, but if you have a big store, you might want to use something that is a little bit more geared towards that. So there's other websites that are specific for e-commerce that are better for that than Squarespace would be. But if you have a couple small things that are, you know, would be a few sales here and in there, you could still use this. But if you have like a serious e-commerce site that you're wanting to start, I would not use Squarespace for that. I would use something that's specific for e-commerce. So we'll go out of here. We're not going to do this right now. Marketing, you know, you can do email campaigns in here. You can do SEO. You know, SEO is basically search engine optimization. So when you search for your site on Google, your site will actually show up. Sometimes if you don't do search engine optimization on your site, it might not show up when you search for it in Google. So, but we're not going to go here too much. You can look at analytics in the settings, I believe. You know, we can go through here, but one thing, maybe I'll just show you now how to edit pages. So if we go on the work page, I can show you, you know, how we can go in here and edit. So push edit, and this is where we can edit things. So we can edit the site header. I might want to add a logo here. So let's go here. This looks good, but I'm going to add my logo image here. I'm going to run out of time, but we can upload a file. I'm going to use my larger image for this, and we'll see how this looks. Yeah, and it's a little small, but I can make it bigger. Maybe I want it that big. The max height will be, you know, however big. This is as big as it'll get on a smaller site. And then we want to go to site and title. Maybe I want, and this doesn't look as good as I would say my other thing did, but we can maybe fix it a little bit in the next video.